Oh, it seems that it's recording. Yes, it's recording. So let's wait a little bit, and when there are more people, um, we will start. This is only a review. Remember, kids, this week we are only going to review the topics that we saw during the first term. So let's wait for some time for more people to get inside this class. Okay, kids. So if you can please tell your classmates via WhatsApp or any kind of chat that you have them in, that will be great because we are still only 8 people, and I prefer to start the class with more people. It doesn't matter that it's recording, but I would like more people to be in the class when we begin, and we are only 9 people right now. Okay, kids, we are only 10 people now. So I want you to tell me if you have any problem. We just have to wait a little bit more for more people to get inside this class. Remember that you can tell me anything via chat and I will be checking. And please don't activate your microphones if I don't tell you. Meanwhile, let me open this. Oh, perfect. I am going to start with 6A because we will use this thing a little bit later during this class. Okay, we are only still 10 people, so I am going to wait 5 more minutes and I am going to start the class. Regardless the amount of people that is here. Because remember, this class is going to be recorded, so the people that is not from the beginning can watch the video later. But we only have 1 hour today, and I want to use the time um, in the best way that we can do it. So I'm going to wait until 8 and 17. And after that, I am going to start with the class. Okay, kids, we are going to start in only 1 minute. So I think it has been enough for the people that is not here yet. But don't worry, tell them that the class is going to be recorded and that I am going to send the link to the video of this class to everyone's videos. So let's wait 1 more minute and we will begin with the review. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are going to start with the class. Um, Once again, I repeat, tell your partners to get inside this class as soon as possible. And don't worry because the class is going to be recorded. So, as you could see in this slide that I have here in my screen, um, these are some little rules that we have to follow during these virtual classes to make everyone's experience a little bit easier. So you have to always be with your microphone not activated because it will create a lot of feedback if everyone is talking at the same time. Um, and if I need you to talk, I will tell you, I will tell a specific person to open the microphone and to talk if I need it. If you have to talk, always do it in English. And we already reviewed um, if our connection was correct. I think no one has any issue. So if you have any problem, please tell me through the chat because I am checking the chat also in another computer that I have next to me. Um, and we will start. We will start today. We are going to make a little review of powers, roots, and logarithms because as you saw in the mail from the coordinator, this week we are going to make reviews. So let's begin from the basics and let's start with exponents, with powers. So, okay, in this slide, you can see that here we have a little explanation of powers. This is really simple. Remember, a power can be understood as a repeated multiplication. For instance, if you want to do this operation, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, you are repeating the 3 in a multiplication. So you can, instead of writing all of that, because it's quite long, you can write 3 to the power 5. And that is going to be a simplification of that repeated multiplication. And as you can see, the result is 243 because you multiply. Wow, what happened here? Um, because you are multiplying 3 times 3, which is 9. Once again, times 3 becomes 27. Times 3 becomes 81. And finally, times 3 becomes um, becomes 243. Okay, someone sent a message. Julian David, okay. That's a little problem, but don't worry. It's not a big problem. Use any other notebook, don't worry. So let's go back.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay, and here in this slide, you can see once again the explanation a little bit more clear because the 3, which is the number that you are repeating, is going to be the base. Remember, the base, which is this, it's in a normal size, is the number that you repeat. And the 5 comes from the amount of times that you repeat the number in the multiplication. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're repeating it five times, so it becomes the exponent. And the answer is 243. And okay, I saw a lot during this term that some of you made this little mistake that I am going to check, that I am going to show in the next slide. So please, I want you to avoid this mistake because this is a really common mistake. Look at this. 3 to the power 5 equals 15. Is it right or is not? Obviously, this is not
It
right
is not.
because a power is not the same that a multiplication. Look, a power is a repeated multiplication, but a multiplication is a repeated addition. It's not exactly the same. Good morning, Sarah. How are you? Okay, now let's continue. So please try to avoid it. It's not the same. Multiplying and making a power of an exponent is not the same. Okay, let's go with roots. One question. Does anybody have any question, any doubt? Please tell me through the chat. Remember, if you don't know how to use the chat, is something like here in this part. You can use the chat here. So does anybody else have a question? It appears that no one has a question. Okay, perfect. So don't worry. Anyway, we are going to make a little practice together after I finish the explanation. Okay, so let's go now with roots. Okay, roots is one of the two inverse operations of root of powers. So roots and also logarithms are a different organization of powers that give as the result different things. For example, the roots give as a result the power. Look at this power. The base is 3, the exponent is 5, and the result is 243. Yes? But imagine that you know this. You know that the exponent is 5. You know that the exponent is 5. And you know that the result is 243. But you don't know the base. You don't know that this is 3. So when that happens, when you don't know the base, you have to make a root. Oh, a lot of people is getting inside. Well, so remember, in the root, what was the exponent in the previous expression, so this 5, comes here. Um, sorry. And what was the result comes here. A lot of people is getting inside at the same time. That's great. I am going to turn off the volume because it's a little bit distracting. Okay, so that's it. Okay, once again, the exponent comes here, the result comes here, and the power is, sorry, the root is going to give you this. But I know that for some of you, that is a little bit confusing. So you can think about roots in a different way. So let's look at this example. The example is not the same than before. In this case, is cubic root of 64. So that is the result of a number, but we don't know that number. So we are going to call that number with the letter n. And that number has to be multiplied by itself 3 times and result in 64. What is multiplied by itself? It means in Spanish, multiplicado por sí mismo. So the number times the number times the number. How many times? 3 times, because this little number tells you that. And the result of that has to be 64. So we have a number times the same number, which is 64. Okay, and that number, what is that number? That number is 4, because 4 times 4 16, and 16 times 4 equals 64. So if that number is 4, that means that the result of the root is 4. So does anybody else have a question? Remember that you can tell me your questions through the chat. Okay, so no one is writing, so I hope, I think that no one has a question. Okay, now let's check logarithms, which is really similar to roots, because from the original power, you only knew two things. You knew the base, you knew that the base was 3, and you knew that the result was 243, but you didn't know that the exponent was 5. So when you don't know the exponent, you have to make a logarithm. So logarithm in base 3. So what was the base comes here, little next to the g, and what was the result comes here, and the exponent is the result of the logarithm. But you can also think about this, in this way. So you have logarithm in base 4 of 64. So it means that you have to multiply the 4 a certain a number of times. You don't know how much, how many at the beginning. So you have to multiply 4 times 4 times 4 a certain number of times to get 64. So you can do it easy. Let's start 4 times 4. Well, that is 16. Let's keep going. Times 4. 16 times 4 is 64. So we got the 64 that we wanted. How many times did we multiply it? We multiplied the 4 3 times. So the result of the logarithm is 3. And that is a really simple way to solve some logarithms. But you can also do it by calculator. If you check in the Padlet, I gave you a link to a video in which I explain how to make logarithms, powers, and roots in the calculator. So we are not going to do it right now, but you can always check it. Look, this is a video that I made in which you can remember how to do all of these things in a calculator. But let's go back to the presentation. So, any question about logarithms?
No.
Mhm. Okay, one more person is getting inside. And no one is talking and no one is writing to the chat, so I think that no one has a question about logarithms. So we are going to make a little practice. Okay, how is it going to work? Here we have two kind of exercises. Um, so you have to convert these two roots, these two roots, these two roots, everything to roots of this column. And you can also convert, you have to convert everything to logarithms in this column. So how is it gonna work? Everybody needs to do it in their notebook. I am going to give some minutes for you to do it. And how are you going to participate? I am going to select people through Class Dojo. So I am going to start from with people from the 6A. Then I'm going to select someone from 6B. And when you see that your name appears, you activate your microphone and you tell the answer. Or if you prefer it, you write it in the chat. Okay? So please start working on this. If you have any question, please tell me through the chat. I will give you 2 or 3 more minutes to work with this, and then I am going to start asking random people. So if you have any question, please tell me through the chat.
Dạ. Anh ơi.
Oh, sorry, sorry. It appears that please, kids, remember to turn off the microphones, um, and only activate it if I tell you that I need your answer, or if I ask you to participate. Other way, please communicate everything through the chat. So please, there are some people that still have the microphone on. Please turn it off. That's great. Thank you. I can see that one person is having problems turning off the camera. So if you don't want anyone to see you, uh, I don't know what is Nightmare 999. Please, this is the icon that you have to turn off. If you don't want anyone to see you, press here, and that's it. So I will give you 1 more minute, and I will start asking people. Ok, chicos, y antes de continuar con la clase voy a hacer una aclaración, por eso les estoy hablando en español. Creo que hay gente del profe Emerson que entró a esta clase. No hay problema. Sin embargo, no sé si el profe Emerson los está esperando en este momento. em, en alguna sesión de él. Entonces, chicos, tienen que tener mucho cuidado y pues mirar bien en el Padlet qué es lo que se les pide. Por ejemplo, aquí, Math, pero aquí está Math de 6C y 6D, que creo que hay gente de estos cursos. Eh, Estos chicos, los de estos cursos, no tenían que entrar hoy a esta clase. Para ellos programé otra clase el jueves. Pero si ya están en esta clase, no hay ningún problema, quédense, no hay lío, porque en este video hay información muy similar a la que estoy hablando hoy aquí en vivo. 6A sí tenía que entrar a esta clase. Y miren, chicos, aquí está lo de 6.1, 6.2 y 6.3. Entonces, sigan las indicaciones que les dejó el profe Emerson, ¿vale? Porque no sabemos cuándo él tiene programada sesión con ustedes ni nada. Igual, si quieren asistir a estas sesiones no hay lío, pero el- lo importante es que no se les cruce con las de él, ¿listo? Bueno, y ahora sí volvemos a la clase. Y, ok, so I am going to select some people with Class Dojo and I want you to talk. So I am going to activate the audio of my other computer. Yes, that's right. And I am going to open Class Dojo. Ok, chicos, recuerden que el micrófono solo lo deben activar cuando yo les pido la palabra, ¿listo? Por favor, los demás apáguenlo. So, let's start with someone from 6th A. Juan Felipe Torres. Juan Felipe Torres is here right now. Let me check. Let me check, let me check. Um, Torres, are you here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, he's not here right now. So let's select another person. Santiago, pero es Santiago Vargas o okay, let me this one. I don't know. I think it's Santiago Vargas. Okay, Vargas, are you here? Let's check. Vargas, ¿estás acá? No. Entonces, Valderrama.
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
How are you, Santiago?
Fine.
Okay, Santiago, can you please tell me the answer or write it in the chat of the first one?
Answer of what,
Of this
teacher?
one.
I
Check, check,
ah
check the
I
screen.
say.
This one.
Now I can see it. I'm confused, teacher. Wait.
Don't worry. Do you have any question?
No, no, no. Teacher, I can't see the screen.
Okay, let me make it larger. Now can you see? 2 to the power 5 equals 32. And you have to convert that to roots.
Um. Uh, I don't know how to describir in the chat. Right in the chat.
Okay, so imagine that, okay, don't worry. Let me open Paint that I have an idea. Okay, Santiago, I am going to draw the root sign. Okay, yes, another one, and another one. So, Santiago, from that example, what goes here? Remember, it was 2 to the power 5 equals 32. So what goes here?
The 5.
And here,
The 2? Or the 30 what, teacher?
you have
Sorry.
to make a decision.
In the
Here,
in here, it's the 32. It's
the
the
32.
number.
Yes, and after the equal, because here's supposed to be a equal sign.
Yes.
After
The
that, what goes?
the two.
Yes, yes, because that's the base. Okay, great, Santiago. Let me, okay, write, okay, log. This is really, wow, log. That's funny. Don't worry, kids, because I already bought something that I am going to use in the next classes, and not this week, but other thing to make these things easier. Okay, so another person for the second point. Now from 6B. Okay, random. Juan David, are you there? I think you're there. Juan David, can you hear me? Okay, and let me check because ok, disculpen, estoy viendo aquí unos mensajes mientras Juan David aparece. Em, ok, la presentación del profe Emerson no les carga. Listo, pues quédense en esta clase. Mientras tanto, yo le informo al profe Emerson y pues ya él les dirá cómo solucionan ustedes su inconveniente. Juan David, creo que tú estabas aquí. Aparece, porfa. Juan David, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, next person. Juan Diego. So are you there, Juan Diego, for the second point? Okay, can you activate your microphone so everybody can hear you? Are you talking? No, you can't? Okay, no problem. So please write in the chat the answer. You have to convert this to root. Okay, so let me ask you. Juan Diego, write in the chat the number that goes here from the second exercise. And remember, the exercise was this one. So actually, let me do this. Copy. And here. The exercise was this one. So what goes here, Juan Diego? You don't see, Juan Diego? Now can you see? Okay, now from that one, what goes here in this part of the root? 10. Okay, be careful. 10 is the base. And remember that in powers, the base is the, sorry, in powers, no. In roots, the base is the result. So the 10 has to be here, okay? Let me see if I can write in this case. Dios. 10. Wow, qué 10 tan asqueroso. Okay, 10. Okay. Now, Juan Diego. This one should be the 2. Because in logarithms, the result is the exponent of the power. So in the roots come here, and the other number has to be the 100. Okay, and someone is telling me that needs to see the exercises, so I am going to put them. That's it. Um, okay, what else can I tell you? This point is done in the same way than this one, than Valderrama did, and this one is the same. So I am going to ask two more people for two exercises here, and then I will show you all of the answers. And don't worry, because remember, this class is being recorded, and once I get the link, I will send it to you through Phidias, and I will send to 6A, 6B, and also 6C and 6D. And if the people from 6C or the classes from Emerson want this video, you can tell me. You can tell Teacher Emerson because I don't have access to your mails through Phidias. Okay, I'm Moreno. So you don't remember how to convert? Look, here you have the information. This is an example. So if this is the power, you can reorganize these numbers to make a root. And if this is a power, you can reorganize in this way to make a logarithm. So if you have a root and you have to convert to logarithms, it is easy because it is only changing the order in a different way, but you can know the result on your own. Okay, I am going to select another person. So let me try to do something. Can you see good this thing? Can you see it properly? Or is it too small for you? Okay, some of you can see it. If Mateo has a question that it's not about the class, please write it through Phidias and I will answer. Um, okay, another person. Again from 6B. Catalina Plestet, are you here? Let me see in the chat if there she is. No, Catalina is not here. So let's select another person. Maria Paula, are you here? Okay, Maria Paula is not here. One person more, or I will select it from my man. Valentina is here. I saw her. So can you please, Valentina, tell me the answer for this one? You have to convert it to logarithm. Can you talk? You can't talk? Okay. So let's use the same example, the same way that we used with Juan Diego. New. I am going to use this too. So you have to answer the first one, and you have to convert it to logarithms. So I'm going to make it bigger. Okay, that's great. So Valentina, through the chat and looking at this exercise, can you tell me please what goes in this place? Okay, remember that next to the G is always the base. So what of these three numbers is the base? Okay, Valentina, I'm waiting for you. Okay, can anybody that wants to say the answer write it through the chat, please? Okay, no one. Okay, so I think that I will move on to the answers of these because the time of the class is finishing and we didn't get to cover everything that I wanted to cover, but don't worry because you can access the video that I put in the 6C and 6D Padlet. So for the rest of the presentation, you can see that video, and you will also receive the link of this class recorded in some minutes. So these are the answers. The answers for the one that I asked Valentina is this one because the base in a in a root is always the result. So the 9 has to go here. The exponent in a logarithm is the result. So the 2 comes from here to here. And the number that is left, which is the 81, comes here. And when you want to convert from a power to a logarithm, you do it in this way. Look, the base is 3, so it goes next to the g. The exponent is 2, and the exponent in the logarithm has to be in the result. So you put the 2 here. And the number that is left, which is the 9, comes between the 3 and between the 3 and the equal sign. So, do you have any question? Please write through the chat if you have any question. Only write yes or no.
Hello, teacher. I have the same answers that
Can you talk
that
again?
you have here. No.
Hello, Moreno, Jorge.
Yes, hello, teacher. I have
Hello.
the same answers that you put there.
You have everything exactly like that? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, that's great, Moreno. That's great. This is a really simple topic. So,
Okay,
anyway, if any
teacher.
other person has a question, um, if any other person has a question, you can ask me through Fidias or through the chat because the class is going to finish. Hello, Catalina. You get here a little late, but don't worry because I am going to send the link of this class that is being recorded. I am going to send it through Fidias. So if you lost everything, you can check it later. So kids, after this, you will have an activity in Alex as a practice, but don't worry, you don't have to do it right now because I know that at 9 o'clock you have another class, I think. But don't worry, it is going to be activated until the Friday at 4 p.m. So don't worry, this is just a matter of practice. And if you have any question, you can ask me through Fidias. Don't worry. And now I am going to switch to Spanish to make some things clear. Ok, chicos, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén em, aprovechando este tiempo en familia, este tiempo en clase, pues para estar con sus seres queridos, para estar bien, para descansar un poco, también para estudiar, porque a pesar de todo esto del coronavirus seguimos estudiando. Em, y bueno, creo que esta primera clase virtual en vivo resultó de buena manera. Sin embargo, pues veo que muy pocas personas entraron. En este momento hay 27 personas. Y pues digamos que fue porque es la primera vez que hacen esto conmigo y porque fue a primera hora de la mañana. Ok, no se preocupen por eso. Em, Perdón. Entonces sí les quiero pedir el favor de que les recuerden a sus compañeros que pues es importante entrar puntuales a las clases. Em, no importa que esto se grabe y que después yo les envíe el link, porque lo importante es poder participar. Cierto que la participación es un poco difícil por este medio, pero como ustedes vieron con algunos ejemplos, se puede hacer de varias maneras. Por ejemplo, Santiago Valderrama participó mediante el micrófono, Verdugo participó por el chat. Em, Porfa, si bien yo no estoy ahí presente, pues para verlos y estar pendientes y estar ahí como policía, sí les recomiendo, porfa, chicos, que es muy importante que ustedes hagan los ejercicios que yo les pido acá por su cuenta. Porque si no, pues para esa gracia les mando worksheets y ustedes me envían y pues más complicado para todo el mundo, porque yo tengo que revisar un montón de cosas y ustedes tienen que hacer un montón de ejercicios también. En cambio, pues si participan en este momento, es pues mucho más sencillo, un poco más interactivo. Em, Me alegra que la mayoría de ustedes siguió la indicación de tener el micrófono apagado, y eso está muy bien. Y bueno, chicos, no siendo más, no sé si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta sobre esto, alguna sugerencia. O si no, pues damos por terminada la clase. Y chicos, porfa, estén muy pendientes del Padlet. Les recuerdo que aquí está organizado por cursos, porque pues no todos los cursos tienen programadas una sesión como esta. Ahorita solo eran el A y el B. Aquí está lo que el profe Emerson les deja. Ya le comuniqué sobre el problema que me comentó Ariana, y esperen a ver qué les responde. Entonces, miren, aquí está organizado diferente para 6A, 6B, diferente para 6C, lo mismo para la clase del 2 de abril. Entonces, ¿tienen alguna pregunta o sugerencia?
Teacher, I have a question.
Sí, espérate, ya me pongo unos audífonos y te respondo. Listo, ¿quién me está preguntando?
Yo, Mateo Reyes.
¿Cómo estás, Mateo?
Estoy muy bien, profe. Tengo una duda.
Cuéntame.
¿El día de hoy en adelante las clases van a ser iguales que estas?
No, señor. Digamos, el día de hoy tenía programado em, con sexto A y sexto B tener la clase de esta manera, mientras que sexto C y sexto D deberían estar viendo un video con información parecida a la que vimos esta clase. Pero eso con el fin de que no se congestione esto y pues podamos hacer algo como, digamos, si mucha gente quiere participar, no vaya a ser un caos,
Estoy escuchando.
porque tendríamos solo a la mitad de personas. Y el jueves alternamos y ustedes 6A y 6B van a ver un video, mientras que 6C y 6D tienen la clase, pues, digamos, en vivo conmigo. ¿Quedó respondida tu duda, Mateo?
Sí, gracias, profe.
Listo, Mateo. Muchas gracias por preguntar. Listo, para los chicos que llegaron hace menos de 1 o 2 minutos, pues chicos, la clase ya terminó. No se preocupen, entiendo que es porque esta es la primera vez que hacemos esto. Y aún así, aunque no hayan estado en esta clase, no importa, porque dentro de un rato les voy a enviar el link de lo que se grabó durante esta clase. Pero sí les recomiendo que porfa estén un poco más pendientes del Padlet para las próximas clases, para cuando tengamos sesión así en vivo, puedan ingresar a tiempo. Y bueno, chicos, no sé si alguien más tiene una pregunta o si no, pues ya terminamos la clase.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Vale, chicos, muchas gracias a ustedes.
Bueno, gracias, profe. Me despido porque ahorita tengo inglés.
Listo, chicos, nos
Que le
vemos
vaya
hasta el
Bye
bien.
miércoles.
bye,
Chao,
teacher.
chicos. Bueno,
Bye, teacher.
bye bye. Voy a colgar.